So this is going to be kind of a part 4, a little bit more in depth with how she manipulated me back when we were in high school. So when we were in high school, she had a crush on this guy, and the guy that I mentioned in an earlier video that, oh, you'll all be so perfect for each other. Well, I found out this years later. She actually had started attending the church shortly before I did, and she immediately started having a crush on him, and he refused her. And then after every person would come into the church, all these new girls would come in for the youth group, because we had a really happening youth group, and she would latch onto them and then convince them that they were perfect for him. Oh, y'all are so perfect for him, and oh, y'all are so perfect for each other. And she would say the same exact thing to them as she did to me. And I saw this because we were best friends. And so she had been telling me all these things. Oh, y'all are so perfect for each other. Then some girl would walk in and she would latch onto them, and like we'd be a threesome for a while, until this girl wised up and would realize, oh, he doesn't like me. And they would actually leave the church. It was kind of like the anti-gospel. It was like she was running all these girls off because these girls come to be part of the youth group and to get to know God better. And then Margaret would latch onto them, and they would get their hearts broken because they would start developing feelings for this guy who was never going to be interested in them because he was stuck up. Anyway, so I saw this happening, and I'd never realized why. It was because she had a crush on him and he had refused her. Well, years later, so after all this time of me being manipulated and not even knowing if my feelings for him were actually my feelings, that was like, okay, do I really have a crush on him, or am I being convinced that I have a crush on him, or whatever? So I never chased after him or anything. Well, he started dating this girl, and come to find out, we were all at youth convention, and we were in the mall at youth convention, and this girl from another church was hanging out with us. And Margaret starts pulling the same thing. Oh, y'all are so perfect for each other, and y'all should hook up, and da-da-da. And she believes it too. Well, they end up getting married, and which kind of really hurt me because I really did have feelings for him at that time. And of course, I just kept my feelings to myself. I was brokenhearted, da-da-da. But it's like my first broken heart was due to her manipulating. And so at the wedding, which happened to be on my birthday, that was crazy. That was just all this other girl being a diva and being an awful person. So because she knew that I had feelings for him, even though I tried to keep my feelings to myself, she knew I had feelings for him, and she married him on my birthday knowing it was my birthday. Different story, different day. But in there, they had a bulletin for their wedding. It was like, say you're a church nerd without saying you're a church nerd. Okay, you have a bulletin for your wedding. And on the back of the bulletin, they gave their whole love story about how Margaret had set them up, and Margaret had told them that she was so perfect for him. And I almost laughed, even though I was watching the guy that I was in love with marry somebody else. I almost laughed because it was ridiculous, because little did they know she had done that to every single girl that had walked into the door of that church for years. And turns out, years later, they got divorced. Big surprise.